Hey, what's up, guys? This is Kai from the DemonicDuo Collections here, along with Mizu, and today we're doing our very first collaboration. We've talked about this guy quite a bit on the channel. He's been a good friend of ours.
Yeah, he has.
And, yeah, this is Rob, aka Red or Blue.
Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Hey, it's no problem. We've talked quite a bit over Instagram and all that, and you have helped us acquire things like that base set pack. And
oh yeah,
you know, we met when you were selling those rocket packs.
Way back when.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are the homies. You know, I've definitely known you guys for a long time, and it's really cool. You know, like Pokemon's such a great hobby because I just feel like I've been able to connect with so many people that otherwise I definitely wouldn't have had the opportunity to. And it just brings so many different people together. And yeah, you guys are definitely, you know, two people that I've enjoyed getting to know, talking with you guys back and forth over Instagram and YouTube and whatnot. And it's just been really cool. So I'm super grateful that our paths crossed.
Yeah, same here.
Same here.
Also, we're going to have to pause the recording. I have to go do something real quick.
Oh my God.
Duty calls. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I definitely do agree with you that the Pokemon community is definitely like one of the best hobbies for sure. I mean, there are so many people that are passionate about, you know, not just the card game, but also the anime and the, you know, games themselves.
Yep.
And... you know, it's definitely interesting how, you know, the Pokemon hobby, or really any hobby, can bring people together.
Yeah.
Over a common interest.
Yeah,
because...
and for me, like, what's really cool is that I just find that a lot of people in the hobby are pretty friendly for the most part. And, you know, there's like I'm a big Call of Duty player, right? And so, I mean, not as much anymore. Like, we were kind of just, you know, talking here before about, you know, our game time. And, you know, I really enjoy watching the pros. I enjoy playing when I can. But that community is very toxic. I mean, it's very, like, you hop onto a game and, you know, there's a lot of people kind of talking mess back and forth. But it's a pretty toxic hobby, even in the pros. Like, if a pro team does, you know, poorly, like, you know, it's crazy how much their fans, like, one day they're super supportive and really cool, and then they go through a loss and it's like they're getting all these, you know, hate DMs on Instagram or Twitter or whatnot, and it's just kind of crazy. And I just find that, you know, for the most part, Pokemon has been really positive for me, and I've been able to meet a lot of good people that, you know, I tend to like to surround myself with, you know. So I think that that's like one of the biggest reasons why I've stayed in the hobby so far is, you know, one, I love this stuff, but two, the people are awesome.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. And, you know, like, I mean, obviously, you know, our channel and, of course, your channel, you know, we're definitely, like, compared to, like, people like PokeRev, TCA Gaming, Rhymestyle, which, I started watching Rhymestyle with his Dragon Ball gaming stuff. And then, once I got back into the hobby, then I subscribed to his second channel. And then, of course, Leonhardt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of funny how, you know, all of us just love this hobby so much, and, you know, and I think it's cool that people do make friends. I mean, heck, you know, we made one with you.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's how hobby should be. It shouldn't be toxic like Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I completely agree. When did you guys kind of get back into the hobby as adults? Okay,
as for me, my relationship with Pokemon as a whole has been off and on. What kind of sprung this idea was back in 2019, to where there's this convention I go to every year, which is it's called I gotta say it right here because it can sound like something else. Horror Hound, HORROR, and it's a place, you know, people go to for, like, you know, scary movies and all that. And this dude always sells Pokemon cards of various different generations. And what that kind of started the seed, because I asked, hey, do you have a base set Charizard? and that's started the seed. But we didn't really start collecting until like last year, which that was a bad year to get back into the hobby with all the scalpers just infested.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
very true.
But luckily, you know, we overcame that and we found ways of getting product and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Sam?
Yeah. For me, I've always been into the Pokemon franchise, but I don't know exactly when it happened, but there was a point I just stopped card collecting altogether. I don't know when that happened. But once Babe here tossed the idea out last year, it's like, hey, why don't we, you know, start a collecting channel? I was like, yes. So I was all on board for it.
I mean,
That's awesome.
I mean, that was pretty much my freaking main channel roots. It was basically that, so it's like,
That is true.
I mean, why not? I mean, I'm used to how that game works, you know. It's a rush when you get something new in the mail, or, you know, meeting new people, or heck, you know, pulling a chase card. Kind of like how I didn't expect to pull that freaking VMAX Rainbow Rare Charizard.
Yeah, that's sweet, man. I mean, those are the moments, you know, like, and I think that, you know, young or old, you know, doesn't matter where you are in the world, gay or straight, doesn't really matter, like, who you are. Like, those moments, I think that we all experience of just having fun, opening up packs, kind of like you said, you know, hunting for new collection goals. Like, I love mail days, you know, it's like Christmas, like, all the time. And that feeling is just like so widespread, and like everybody can experience that, you know. It doesn't really matter who you are, and that's pretty special, you know. So that's the pack openings are definitely something to live for. And if I had more money, I would spend a lot more money on some of these older packs to open, because I could only imagine pulling something, some type of chase, like a gold star, or, you know, anything from like the WotC era would be pretty fun. But, you know, definitely not realistic at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's definitely how interesting how, like, all of us collectors have, like, our different, like, points of views on how we do things. Like, as for us, you know, we plan on doing, like, a freaking old school pack opening video.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, we're that crazy.
Yeah, and the rest of the community appreciates it, because you guys give us content to watch, you know, so we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And, which, speaking of which, I mean, Leonhard is probably the crazy one out of all of us, to where he's doing a freaking pop-up shop,
Yeah,
to
that
where he's
pop-up
selling.
shop he's doing.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, did you, ever hear about that?
Yeah, I'm forever grateful for Leonhardt, because it was, you know, one of his videos that got me back into the hobby. I clicked on a video and, you know, was like, what the heck, Pokemon is still a thing? And I hadn't heard of it, or, you know, talked about Pokemon or seen Pokemon really, like, as a trading card game in probably, like, you know, over 15 years. And so I was kind of clicking on one of his videos, seeing what it was all about, and you know, decided to go to Walmart and buy a couple packs, and like the rest is history, you know, because I was just absolutely addicted at that point in time. But so I'll kind of check up on Leonhard stuff from time to time. I have a hard time watching a lot of his videos just because he's very over the top, and you know, he provides a service. You know, he's providing entertainment to a lot of people, especially like a lot of younger people who really enjoy that stuff and can just, you know, just watch with him. It's almost like their television, you know. It's stuff that, like, we grew up watching, you know, the Pokemon, you know, show, and Power Rangers and Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh and all this other stuff. Like, we didn't have YouTube really as kids, you know, and if we did, I'm sure that I'd be watching Leonhardt as a kid, or getting into my, you know, teenage years or whatnot. But as an adult, I find it's tough to watch a lot of his content just because he's very over the top. But again, he provides that service, and I totally respect the guy. And I'll check in from time to time on his channel, and I just so happened to check in, you know, yesterday, the day before, and kind of saw that update on the pop shop. And yeah, that's super cool what he's doing for the community. I'm guessing that he has sponsors and that he's kind of teamed up with a couple other people. to make it happen. Because I think he said it's like $500,000 or something like that he's going to be giving away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I know that he does well, but I don't know if he does that well, where he can, just give away $500,000 of his own money. There's got to be some type of sponsorship to support that. So I'm kind of curious to see what that looks like as we get closer to the event. But all in all, it's no one else is doing anything like that in the hobby, and it's just really, really cool.
Yeah, and like all the time when I'm going through like Reddit or even like his own comment section, or really anyone's comment section, to where when like someone opens up like old Wizards of the Coast packs, that I always see people like say like, man, I really wish I could open these old packs, but too bad they're so gosh darn expensive. And it's like and because on one hand too, it's like, yes, we're crazy, but not everyone's that crazy to where they can they have that drive to find a way to get those older products and to open them, or collect them sealed. Actually, I feel sorry for the people that pay a lot of money for those first edition Shadowless booster boxes. I'm like, ouch.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, they're expensive. The first edition base is definitely pricey. Are you talking about people that like bought the box and like it ended up being like a scam, like a fake box, or just in general?
I've heard about that. I've seen a couple videos on that topic, and what I mean by ouch is like, I can't imagine. I hope people that buy first edition booster boxes, hopefully they save up for it or something like that, because it's like, I can't imagine paying that much and then like, because that's a big purchase. That's a big freaking purchase, especially when it comes to like it being like Pokemon cards and all that. Like I don't know if I'm making sense or.
Babe, you're making good amount of sense. You're doing fine.
Sam's like, you're making sense. Yeah, you're making sense to me, man, because you're absolutely right. These prices are massive, and I don't think the people that are buying them really have to worry too much about it, because if you have that kind of money, you're usually not saving up for like just that much, and like that's like your life spending that you're saving on. Like these people have millions and millions of dollars. Guys like Logan Paul that make a business out of it. They know how to, promote it across social media and, turn it into something that's profitable. So it's not like these guys are buying boxes and like they're taking the hit and like they're not making money off of it. Each person that has bought one of those boxes that hasn't turned out to be a fake or a scam or anything like that, they're increasing their revenue by a lot. Let's just put it this way.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at guys like Z&G Emporium, who I think he bought his box, was it last year or like the year before, for like, I don't know, I think he said it was like $35,000 or $40,000, something like that, back when it, before everything exploded, back before Logan Paul, all that stuff. And he ended up selling his to Logan Paul for, what was it, like $200,000 or $250,000, something like that. So it's like, within that amount of time, he's profiting, around 150 to 200K. And then these guys that are buying these boxes now, like Logan Paul bought, 9 boxes at $200,000 or 250. Well, what was the last box that sold? It was for like 400,000 or 500,000, something like that. So these boxes are very, very rare, and they're going to like true collectors or people that know how to make a business out of it. So I wouldn't worry too much about those guys.
Yeah, true. Because I remember watching a video with TCA Gaming, and I think it might have been a fake first edition. Well, not a fake one, but it was a resealed one to where all the packs were open except for a few on the top. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, like as someone that's trying to collect every Charizard card, which right now the freaking Pokemon Company is making me work for it, because with this new Pokemon Generation set comes out, not only is there like a reprint supposedly of like the base set Charizard, and it looks exactly identical it's not like Evolutions to where they kind of changed up the like, what's the word for it? To where they changed up like the icons and all that. Like this is a like 1-for-1 like reprint of it. It just doesn't have the Wizards of the Coast logo on the bottom. But they are also bringing out, I guess, supposedly another VMAX Charizard with that. And if it's true, I'm already like, are you kidding me? It's like, in like the span of like the last few months, there's been like 3 VMAX Charizard cards that came out, and it's like, if it was a Leon VMAX Charizard, oh yeah, I would be okay with that, because it's a different variant of a Charizard VMAX, and it just so happens to be used by one of my favorite modern Pokemon characters.
Yeah, I mean, just focusing on modern alone is still expensive. Not to even mention the vintage market, like which there are an abundance of expensive Charizards if you start to like go through the line of every single set on like Bulbapedia or something like that, and trying to make like a spreadsheet of all you need to accomplish. It's definitely expensive in any grade or any type of condition, raw, PSA 1 condition, whatever. Like it's definitely thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, totally. I mean, but on one hand too, it's like it's totally worth it too, because it's like once I gotten back into the hobby, I've acquired multiple Charizards. Obviously, my Charizard V from Darkness Ablaze, the VMAX from that set, also the Charizard V from the Champions Path Elite Trainer box, the Rainbow Charizard VMAX, the Charizards that was in Vivid Voltage, and then also most recently, I got my first Pokemon card back, which my first ever Pokemon card was a base set 2 Charizard. That's actually how I got into Pokemon. It wasn't because of the games. It wasn't because of the anime. It was because of the card game. It was all because of that Charizard card and that art.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And so it's like getting all these Charizard has definitely given me more of a confidence boost. Like, okay, well, I can accomplish this goal. It's going to be hard. It's going to take time and patience, but I can succeed.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I love about Pokemon. It's like, it's just like in any type of video game, you're kind of like addicted to getting to the next level, or like building up your armor, or like leveling up your weapon or something like that. So you're kind of like on this journey, and it never really ends. I mean, for me, like Pokemon, I don't think I'll ever get to a place where I'm like, okay, all my collection goals are done. Like, I think that there's just so much out there that's fun, and it's kind of just part of the process to, continue to hunt for those cards, continue to save up for them, to work for them, obviously within your means, you don't want to go crazy or whatnot, but it's fun to just, over time to slowly chip away at something, and, sometime along the way, maybe you complete like a specific set, or knocking out, like all the modern Charizards, or all the Charizards from this set, or whatever your collection goal is. Like, that's just like super cool, and along the way you just get to meet so many different people through buying and selling, and that's what to me is just like really fun. So yeah, collecting's kind of for life for me. I guess it's a lifestyle, if you want to say that, and some people might not understand that, but I think you guys do.
Yeah.
And it's just super fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't just collect Pokemon cards. When it comes to other card games, I do kind of collect Yu-Gi-Oh, but with Yu-Gi-Oh, like, I get that with Yu-Gi-Oh, there's those certain sets that are like the big money, like the first ever like Yu-Gi-Oh set with that Blue Eyes card. But it's like, to me, like, I don't view Yu-Gi-Oh, in my opinion, as much of a collection hobby. I view it more as a playing type of thing. While with Pokemon, I would rather play the virtual TCG game instead of risking my freaking beautiful collection of Charizards.
Yep. Absolutely. And I used to, it's funny because I never played the Pokemon game, like the trading card game. I only collected it even from, way back when as a kid. Like I was always a collector right off the gate. I'd put my cards in binders and did not want to take them out, and I would just look at them and really like appreciate them. And this is when I was like 10 years old, like it's like that's just who I am as a person. It's in my DNA.
Yeah.
But I actually played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh in like middle school, 7th, 8th grade, even like freshman, sophomore year in high school. And yeah, I have no real attachment to those cards when I look at it. Like, I mean, some of them are kind of cool artworks, but first edition Legend of Blue Eyes, White Dragon, I think like PSA 10, they're selling for like $30,000 to $50,000, and that's insane because I couldn't imagine spending that much money on a card that I look at and I just don't feel anything towards it. But the game is super fun.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love my Blue Eyes White Dragons, but I can't see myself collecting the old Yu-Gi-Oh sets. Like, I'm perfectly happy with just the reprints.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's awesome. And I think that's a big reason why they do that. Because you can still have a way to collect just that, not going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah. arm and a leg of the Forbidden One.
Oh my god.
Yeah, probably a kidney or two too.
So obviously we all know that one of the big controversies last year was how dry stores was with Pokemon cards. Either maybe scalpers just completely just ruining everything for everyone, or I believe they also had a card stock shortage too. That also didn't really help matters either, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but what's your take on the situation last year?
Yeah, I think it was the perfect storm of like, you gotta understand that we saw exponential growth in the hobby like never before. I wasn't back here for Evolution's time. I've only heard guys, like SM Pratt and TCA Gaming and all those guys kind of talk about it. And they said it was similar, but there's nothing like what happened in 2020. It was just a total anomaly, and it was the perfect combination of COVID and, stimulus money and not being able to go outside, not spending money on vacations or going to the bars and doing stuff with friends. Like not to mention you're bored. So like when people are bored, like you shop, it's just kind of like a way to escape and like kind of have that fun, fill that void. So we have all these things going on here, coupled with stuff like, Logan Paul and Logic and these other guys that are getting into the hobby, and you got guys like Pokerev who stepped into the scene doing all these box breaks and just creating all this new type of hype and attention to Pokemon that drew a lot of people in very, very quickly. And then Pokemon couldn't keep up with demand. It's just that simple. Like they're making new facilities so that they can make more printers to print this stuff, and it's like that hasn't happened in a long time, so the demand just went through the roof in just such a short amount of time that stores were dried up, and they couldn't print these cards fast enough to keep up with demand. And now that prices have definitely settled, they've come back down a lot for a lot of stuff. It is a little bit more easier to get product. Things are opening back up again. And people aren't spending as much money on Pokemon anymore, and so that's why you can find stuff in stores now, or even if you just buy it on eBay, it's much more manageable. You're not reaching like super scalper prices. If I want to go get product, I can usually buy it at a not too bad, but it's even still like we're still not fully there where like suppliers and distributors are ordering product and they're getting their order filled. Like most people are still getting like a tenth of what they want. So the demand is still very high. It's just not as crazy as it was, 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point that if you go on the official Pokemon Center shop and like even like stores around Sam's area, they've started limiting people unlike how much you can get, because the hype got that big. I mean, on one hand too, like it definitely took me back because I wasn't around for Evolutions either. Kind of similar to you, I just heard about things from like videos and all that, but it took me back during the days of like Gen 1 and Gen 2 to where like, but even then too, like I don't think things got crazy back then either.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the context there, but it's just like the old saying, like if it was easy, everyone would do it, and everyone was doing it. Like they could see like, oh, I could buy a Champion's Path ETB at $40 and sell it on eBay for $80, and after taxes and eBay fees and all that, I'm netting like $20. Like I could buy out the store and do that 10, 20 different times, and that's a nice solid little profit there. Everybody's always looking for a side hustle. They're always looking to make more money. Plus they probably enjoy Pokemon. They probably got back into it and like, oh, this was fun, and it's bringing back these nostalgic feelings, and it's kind of like this rush that they're going through, kind of reliving nostalgia coupled with making money as an adult. Like those are two powerful emotions in any human brain, money and nostalgia. So you combine that together and couple with everything else that I just mentioned. Again, it was just that perfect storm of people like, okay, if these guys are doing it, I can too, and everybody started doing it.
Yeah,
so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think what definitely that made me go holy crap was when like PSA like only like offer like one service for like a while there, and I think like, did they ever open up those other services back up at PSA, or is it still just that one?
Yeah, so they reopened up one more service, the one right below it. So they have, what is it? I can't remember the exact name of what it's called, but they have the $300 one, which is the most expensive one, which is going to be the quickest turnaround time, and it has the highest amount of like, value that the card is graded. So if you're sending in like a first edition base at Charizard, and you think it's going to grade like 6 or higher, you want to go to that level, because not only are you going to get your card back the fastest, but it's going to cover you in regards to how much the card is worth after it's graded. Because if not, you're going to send it in at a lower level and you're going to have to wait longer, and then you're going to get hit with upcharge fees, because after it gets graded, that's what they determine your initial grading fee off of. So you might as well go to the highest level if your card is going to yield that price range that it's all available on PSA's website. Like, hey, if it's estimated between X amount to this amount, you want to go to this level. So they opened up the one right below that, and it's $200 a card, and I think they call it like Super Express or something like that. So it's not within like a week turnaround time, which probably would be like 2 weeks, but it's probably like 3 to 4 weeks, maybe like a month later. But I don't know the exact turnaround times. I'm not like a PSA middleman, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, that is the other service level that they did open up.
Yeah, and so ironically enough, I've always thought about getting some of my cards graded and all that, but it's like, I definitely want to send in like a bulk of cards, so like that's why I'm kind of waiting right now to get like a good chunk of Charizards and then send them in, because like, I mean, like I said, in like the past, let's see, year, I've gathered like quite a bit of Charizards in my collection, which I need to take a updated photo of it for freaking Instagram, that's for sure.
Get it.
But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, on one hand, like as for me, as a collector and as someone that I only know some things about the market, so like hearing your perspective of like last year definitely helped me understand more why things were nuts. But as someone that had all these collection goes, I'm seeing like, I go to this website, oh, sold out. Okay, well, let me try going on Troll and Toad as a example. Oh, it's sold out. And next thing you know, I'm getting frustrated. So it started becoming more of a pain to collect last year because of everything being so in demand and Pokemon being bigger than it ever was. Which, here's the thing, I'm all for that. Like, I'm all for more people coming into the hobby. Like, don't get me wrong. But on one hand, too, it's like, the one thing, and there's one, my dog's barking. But on one hand, too, like, even though that we all collect the stuff at the end of the day, this is still, in a way, a kid's product. And I hope that kids were still able to get Pokemon cards.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It was the biggest downside to last year, because you're right, there was a lot of growth in the hobby, and it's awesome. The more the merrier is my view as well, because I would hate for somebody to say that before I got in, that would discourage me from being at the place that I am now, and having a channel and being able to meet so many cool people. I mean, those are like genuine experiences that I'll have for the rest of my life, and friendships that I'm forming with people that will last, I hope, the next 10, 20, 30 years. And so if some would discourage me from all of that just because I joined in later than they did, like that's pretty shitty attitude. So I'm all about more people coming in, but at the same time, we want the right kind of people, I guess you can say. Like, we don't want the scalpers, we don't want the people that are putting other people their happiness and putting those experiences on the line, primarily kids, of like going into the store, buying these packs, opening up these packs with, like for me, I opened them up like a lot with my brother, and we would have to save up and do chores around the house in order to go get packs, or we would have to get a good grade on a test. And it was like motivation. It was just like fun. It was just a big part of my childhood. And like, I couldn't imagine being a kid and watching Pokemon, watching the show, getting into it, watching Leonhardt. I mean, Pokemon has never been bigger. It's so accessible now. Like, these kids have got to see all these YouTube channels that open up packs, and they're excited, and they want to go do it themselves, and they can't because you got scumbag adults that are looking to make 20 to $30 as a side hustle at the expense of taking that experience away from them. So I totally agree, man, that it was definitely a shame. And I think Pokemon Company has heard that and realizes that, which is why they're making new facilities and building new printers and definitely expanding in that regard. So I definitely hope within the next year it can kind of get back to being able to find product in shelves, because like, I don't know, a year ago there was always product at my Walmart. Was that the same way with you guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember when you took that photo of like, because I think that was around the time when like the craze started, they just put like all these different snack foods on.
Yeah. Dude, it was right before Valentine's Day, so it was back in February, and my entire row at my Walmart, and I live in a small resort town, so Walmart and GameStop are the two places that sell Pokemon cards. And there used to be an entire row with Pokemon, sports cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that type of stuff, and it literally got just taken out. I mean, there was like this small section with all of those different genres of trading card games in one little section, and all of it was like candy and chocolate. And I remember just walking in that first time, seeing that, just feeling like, damn, this sucks, and definitely thinking of the kids, because I'm like, I couldn't imagine that this is their reality.
Yeah, I mean, like on one hand, we have luckily found a shop near Sam that actually has a affiliation with Troll and Toad, luckily.
Oh, nice.
And we've been able to get product from there, and that's actually the place that I got my base tattoo Charizard. And I literally asked her, like, the next time she goes, just out of curiosity, ask them if they have any vintage products. Here's the thing: if they have vintage products, they wouldn't have them up in the front. They would have them hidden in the back.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mind asking. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know if you guys follow any other markets, but I mean, just seeing like stuff on Instagram of like, you know, sports card shops getting broken into and, you know, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 worth of product getting stolen. Like it's just insane, you know,
that
where we are.
That happened to Leonhardt too. Someone broke into, from what he said, someone actually broke into his vehicle and stole like $60,000 worth of stuff that he had.
Yeah. And I actually, there is one market I do follow, because I'm a guitar player and I love vintage guitars, like 50s guitars, 60s guitars, 70s guitars. That's cool. Yeah, and like the holy grail of all guitars is known as a 1959 Gibson Les Paul, and quite literally, if I had to compare to any card to like the Pokemon hobby in terms of price, but I think that might cost a little bit, like maybe like several more than this card. I would have to compare it to the first edition Shadowless Charizard.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's super cool. I think Les Paul's pretty well known, you know, in the, you know, guitar community and outside of that. You know, I feel like a lot of people know what a Gibson Les Paul is. So yeah, that's sweet, man. That's a really cool, you know, passion to have. I think that like I've dabbled a little bit in music, like, you know, I have drums and guitar, and, you know, kind of taught myself both, but definitely nowhere near the level that, you know, you probably are, like some of these guys that like dedicate their time. But it's fun, man. It's a fun creative outlet that's really awesome. But I have found that it can be kind of expensive, you know, trying to like get the right guitar, or, you know, level up your drum kit and kind of buying little pieces here and there. Like, but it does get expensive, and so you got to really love this stuff, and you have to like want to play every single day, and like, you know, really want to put in the time to like practice and like sit down. And I mean, I don't know, I was just never willing to do all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, like, let's see, my first real guitar was actually Gibson Les Paul. It was a newer model that unfortunately I have to get repaired. Because Gibsons, unfortunately, they have a reputation of that if they fall, the first thing to break is the headstock. So that's what happened to mine. So I got to get it fixed. Eventually, I got to save up the money and get it repaired. But my second guitar, which luckily I've been taking good care of, is it's a signature model of James Hetfield from Metallica.
Oh, awesome! Right on.
Yeah. So, what? Obviously, you also recently did a box break of Black and White. Was that your recent purchase? Like, what has been your like recent purchase in terms of like collecting?
Yeah, I buy a lot. Like I'm a bit addicted, I guess you can say, but very, very smart in regards to how I spend my money and what I buy at what time. But yeah, the Black and White base set box was super fun, and you know, I bought that with the intention of pretty much being able to make a little bit of money off of it, but, you know, not like these other box channels like TCA Gaming or PokeRev, and, you know, shouts out to those guys that just provide that level of service, and they can absolutely charge, you know, a little bit of a premium, you know, which is totally fine, because I've participated in, you know, stuff like that, or I've sent, you know, stuff to open, you know, on TCA Gaming's channel, Rhyme Styles channel, Lootbox TV, you know, and it's just really fun to share that with other people. So definitely not knocking those guys, but yeah, I bought that box so that, you know, one, I can just open up the cards. I feel like it's a set that not a lot of people have seen open before, and I just think it's a really fun generation. It's a lot of cool Pokemon that I've been doing a lot of research on lately, and just a way to kind of, make a little bit of money on the side and just to have fun. So I'll like, take profits from that and buy for my personal collection, or, stuff that I kind of sell over time. Like I'm not really collecting anymore. And so, over the last 2 years, a lot of my collection has risen in value. So I'll kind of, sell off those items, take the initial investment for what I bought them for and reinvest that into Pokemon, and then take the profits and buy for my personal collection. And then, sometimes I just, put in, my personal money, that like I work hard for, and buy some stuff as well that I think are kind of like investing opportunities as well as collection goals. It's not stuff that I plan to hold on to forever, but it's a way for me to like buy something, hold it for 6 months to a year, maybe even 2 years or something like that, and then later down the line sell that for profits. And that's what a lot of stuff is that I bought 2 years ago, that I've been able to do that recently, and over the last 6 months to a year is just kind of enjoy it that way. And so it's kind of like just this ongoing process that I really enjoy. But I think recently that I've been buying just for like my PC only. Trying to think. Definitely some gold stars. I've been buying a few either Japanese 10s or English 9s. And then I've been, probably my biggest hype lately is I'm collecting specific artists. So my two favorite artists are Mitsuhiro Arita and Atsuko Nishida, and both of them are some of the original artists in Pokemon. Like Nishida created Pikachu, she created the Illustrator card, which is the most expensive card in Pokemon, and Mitsuhiro Arita designed the base set Charizard. So two very iconic artists, and I just find that their styles are very unique, and I can spot their cards usually right away within sets, and I just identify with with the way that they go about that. And so I've been collecting cards from them. So not necessarily like, oh, I want to complete Fossil, I want to complete Jungle and get all of them in PSA 9 or 10 or whatever, which is what I started doing. But because Pokemon is so big and it's so expensive, I started focusing on specific cards from specific sets, and now I've like narrowed that back to like, okay, within that sets I want to collect Nishida artworks or Arita artworks that I really like. So I've been on on kind of a hype with buying those.
Nice. When it comes to favorite artists, my two favorites is obviously Arita, and also the man that designed a lot of the Pokemon, Ken Sugimori.
Yeah, he's a legend for sure.
One of my favorite Charizard's art is the Blaine's Charizard.
Yep, classic.
Because it's like, it's such a classic, like, even though that Charizard isn't considered a dragon type, you can definitely tell like Charizard is based on a dragon for sure, and seeing that art, it's like a classic image of like a dragon just breathing fire, and it's so cool.
Yeah,
it's totally
really
badass.
I totally see what you mean by having these different goals to make pretty much your life easier, because I have a Japanese exclusive Red and Pikachu binder from Japan, and I got that exclusive for a base set, master set, because eventually I do want to go out and I do want to collect all these sets, but I figured my best thing for me to do that, instead of me going insane, is why don't I just collect one Pokemon right now, and if it so happens that Pokemon was a part of base set, then I can check that Pokemon off my list.
Yep.
So like, obviously, since my favorite starter of all time is Charizard, well, pretty much Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard, I'm like, well, why don't I started out Pokemon with a Charizard card, why don't I just collect all the Charizard cards, and once it gets to the point I have every Charizard card until a new one comes out, then I can go focus on maybe Blastoise or Venusaur or Mewtwo or Groudon or Rayquaza or one of my favorite mythical Pokemon, Shaman, which during the Platinum days, I opened up a bunch of Platinum packs, and I think I have every Shaman from that set.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
So that's been my approach to collecting. I just been going after Charizard cards, and Sam here has been going after like all the Pikachus.
I can't
right now.
help going
nice.
after
I
the
like that.
Pikachu. Pikachu's
Ye-
my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, so like I feel on one hand, I find it funny how me and her are going after like two of the heavy hitters because like I know how much my Charizard cards are as PSA 10. I've done my research on it. I'm like, holy.
Right, it's just not attainable.
Well, not exactly that, but like when I do research on when I pull like a new Charizard or like I get gifted a Charizard card, I will literally like go on eBay just out of curiosity and type in, like PSA 10 Rainbow Rare VMAX Charizard, and then like it will give me like an estimated ballpark on how much they're selling. And when I see them when I see some of my Charizard cards being like worth around a few $100, I'm like, well, at least I know that once this collection complete, if I have any problems, these freaking Charizard cards will eventually pay for themselves.
Right. Yeah, I thought you were talking about trying to collect Charizards in PSA 10. I was like, man, good luck.
I'm better off just I think I'm better off just trying to get them PSA 10 myself instead of going just straight for PSA 10 Zards because yeah, I've seen the prices on those, especially the first edition Shadowless one, which eventually I'm gonna have to focus on that Charizard card eventually, and I'm like, yeah, that card is going to be probably my biggest purchase in terms of Pokemon card, for sure, when I eventually have to do it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I know nothing about the market. That's why I figured, hey, why don't we get you on, because you know the market pretty well, and we can learn off you and all that. And we have these two different worlds on how we do things as a collector. Because at the end of the day, no matter how we collect, we're all still collectors. There are people that will just collect sealed product, which I know that you dab into that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing is just have fun. I never want collecting to be stressful for me. I always want to just and it has been in the past. I have felt obligated to buy certain things, and it really ties into FOMO, of like, I need to buy this now at this price point or it's going to go up or whatever it is. And it's been a mistake for me in the past, and it's just something that I've kind of learned through experience. And I never want to feel pressure to get anything or to get anything in like a specific grade, like I don't have to collect 10s or 9s or 8s. Like, I have a couple of first edition PSA 7 Jungle Hollows that I had bought for like $5 each and sent them in to get graded, and they came back 7s. And like, I look at them and I'm like, man, these cards are so awesome, and they're just like so much fun. And like, I'm looking at my Snorlax right now. It's a first edition PSA 7, and it's like, take away the monetary value, and that card hits home, because I opened a ton of Jungle as a kid, and I don't ever want to feel like I need to get all 10s, I need to do this, I need to do that, because at the end of the day, it's all cardboard, and I can't take any of this stuff with me. So for me, I'm along for the experiences, the good times, being able to look back, document all this stuff through YouTube and through Instagram. And I mean, I can look back on this stuff like way down the line, and like it's encapsulated in time. That's like really freaking cool, because one day I'm going to be old and gray, and I'm going to be super nostalgic, and I'm going to want to revisit these times, and hopefully I've been able to, forge, ongoing relationships, and I just want to enjoy life, and Pokemon is just a really cool way for me to do that. So I never want to feel pressured to collect anything, or like, oh, Pokemon's releasing another set, so now I gotta collect that. Like, I'd probably be really miserable, and I probably wouldn't be in Pokemon anymore. So I've just learned to like just enjoy it, buy within my means, have fun, and not give in to all the hype, or you see all these people posting pictures on Instagram, and it's like, oh, look at this new PSA 10 Gold Star Rayquaza, or this new first edition base set PSA 9. Like, these cards are tens of thousands of dollars. Like, I can't just spend that kind of money. And so, some people get caught up in that, and they get sad from all these people having these collections, and they want them, and they just don't enjoy the hobby, and that just sucks for me, that people feel that way. So I just doesn't matter what's going on in Pokemon. I've kind of mentioned this on my channel before, like, scalping, or prices are high, prices are low, it doesn't matter what's going on. I always find a way to enjoy it, because there's just so much to enjoy. There's no point in being miserable when Pokemon is just so positive, and it's just so fun.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, like, there was a few points last year because of how with how things were. Like, I was opening up, and I told you this over Instagram. Like, I opened up 7 or 8 Darkness Ablaze boosts before I pulled my VMAX Charizard, and I felt miserable, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta open up another one.
It was exactly 7. It was 7 booster boxes.
Oh, Sam, I bet you can attest to what he's saying right now.
Oh yeah, I really can.
Like,
as soon as he got done opening booster box and he recorded his videos, he'd come back and be like, babe, I'm like, another booster box? Yes.
And then I ended up doing something that I kind of learned off Rom Style, to where, like, I just stopped recording my openings, because it's like, I don't want my audience to keep seeing me open up Darkness Ablaze and not getting anything, right. because I know that I would find it boring, so they must find it boring too. And then when I finally got that Darkness Ablaze Charizard, I was so happy. I had that rush, and I'm like, okay. And that literally kind of made me realize, you know what? I'm going to keep doing this. This goal is possible. It's going to take time, but it's possible. Yeah. I'm getting me every single Charizard card that's been ever made. And I'm going to make it happen no matter how I do it.
Yeah.
And I think, as a collector, I guess in some ways, if I would have to give advice to new collectors out there, is that, and I think you have even said this in your videos, is that, just be patient.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what's cool now is that there's so many different marketplaces, TCG Castle, Troll and Toad, Collector's Cash, eBay, PWCC, there's so many different marketplaces, not to mention Instagram, Facebook, Yahoo, that you can find some of these cards for raw, for that are in near mint condition for a very good and affordable prices. And so I think that opening packs can definitely be stressful. If you're looking to pull one card, like, that's tough. It's 9 times out of 10 you're going to be let down. It's just not going to happen. So I know that I have actually opened up, like, some packs before. Like, I've gone to Walmart, like, especially when I first started my channel and I didn't really know what type of channel I wanted to be. I was opening up a little bit more, and there were times where I would, like, record it and, like, not pull anything, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm just not going to upload this one to YouTube, because I'm not going to upload something that's just boring. So I totally get what you're saying with that, but I never put any pressure on myself to, like, pull anything, because I've watched Rhyme Style too, and I remember when he was trying to pull the Hidden Fates Charizard, and, like, every time he would open up something, he was just like, he felt so defeated afterwards, and it's like, it just kind of becomes a chore. It becomes, you lose that passion, and you lose that fun, and it gets expensive. Like, opening up packs is something that I don't have the money to do, like open up a lot of packs. I wish I did, but I am very selective in regards to what I spend my money on because I don't make a lot of money, you know, like I'm a very average American, you know, that probably makes, you know, similar to what other salaries are. And I don't make, you know, $200,000 a year. So I don't have all this money to open up on packs. I wish I did. But so I just, you know, kind of chip away at my collection goals and, you know, kind of pick my moments where I find a new set that, you know, is fun. And I'll open up a few packs. But for the most part, if I want a card, I'll just buy it, you know, and it's just so much cheaper that way. And I think that you can have a lot of fun that way because now I don't have any expectations of opening it. If I pull something, I pull something, but I already have the card I want, you know, so. Yeah. I think that with modern marketplaces and how much, you know, Pokemon is optimized today, like we have options where we don't have to pull it. Like back in the day, you know, when I was a kid, like cards shops, like some of them would sell Charizards, but some of them don't, you know, and so like you kind of had to pull it and your friends aren't going to trade you for it. That's for sure.
No.
So
no.
That was kind of your only option back in the day.
Like, even back then, a base set Charizard was a very like desirable card, so it's kind of funny how in that regard things haven't really changed with that particular card.
Yeah, but it definitely is fun, like going after a specific set and chasing, you know, that card, and it's always good. And I think for me, like I always try to find sets that have multiple chase cards and kind of fallback cards, you know, if you will. Like, for example, Dream League, it's like the perfect set for me because you have the big pulls, you know, like Lily's Forest, which is selling for like $300 to $400. You have the Solgaleo Naganadel with the Lily in the front, with the Rainbow Rare and the full art. It sells for, you know, pretty good price tag, around $150 to $200. You have a couple of the other Rainbow Rares that are just like really stunning, like the Reshiram and Zekrom with N on there, and again, that's a pretty solid price tag. And then if you end up not pulling one of those, because you get like one secret rare per box, which is, you know, that's kind of considered it, you have all those character cards to fall back on, you know, so you get 3 character cards in each box, plus that, plus the big hit, and even some of those character cards are more expensive than, you know, some of the big hits. So for me, I like to, like, if I'm going to open, again, I don't make a lot of money, I want to be smart in regards to, you know, what I spend my money on. I want to be able to enjoy and, like, have multiple chances of pulling multiple hits. And that's why I think Evolving Skies is such a huge set, because EV Heroes, to me, is the set of the year, just because it has such a strong identity, it has amazing evolutions, the non-holos are phenomenal, the regular holos are awesome. But you only get one hit in a box. You know, I mean, you get the Vs and the VMAXs, which are cool. They feel good to pull, but they're not going to be, you know, worth that same price tag, or it doesn't feel as good to pull those cards as it does like the big hits. As to where Evolving Skies, I don't know if you guys have been watching people open this stuff up, but you're getting like a lot of hits per box that are like big chase cards, you know, like gold cards and full arts and alternate arts and rainbow rares all in the same box. Like, you're getting all of those cards, and not every box is like that, but it's kind of crazy to see those pull rates. And so I think that Evolving Skies is a great set to open and spend your money on, because just there's so many good potential pulls.
Yeah, I mean, like, I use this one site to, like, check, like I said, like which what cards are in a set. It's called Pokelector.
Yep, I do too.
And I saw, like, you know, that set in particular, and I'm seeing like the freaking evolutions, and then I saw Mew cards, and then I saw like Rayquaza, and it's like, well, I mean, you're right. This is definitely the perfect set, because everyone loves the evolutions, everyone loves Mew, and Mew. I mean, there's no Mewtwo card, but, you know, everyone loves Mew and Mewtwo, and people definitely love the Pokemon that quite literally made Kyogre and Groudon stop fighting. So, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, I'm still trying to pull my current chase cards in Champion's Path, and of course, like, I'm having so much fun with Shining Fates because I'm, when it comes to the actual Pokemon games, I'm a shiny hunter. So it's like hunting for all these different shinies in this set is like so fun because it's like, hey, I'm used to shiny hunting, so this is definitely the set for me, especially that shiny Suicune, which I really want.
Yeah,
I freaking love Suicune. He's my favorite out of the legendary beasts.
Yeah, Shining Fates is definitely a good set. If you like modern Pokemon, you're up to date. Like, I don't know most of their names, but it's really cool if you can, like you said, kind of intertwine it with Pokemon Go or like, the Game Boy games and, hunting for these Pokemon, and, now you get to pull them in a modern set and they're, all shiny. It's different than regular hollows. So like those little shiny pulls feel like hits. It's like Hidden Fates. Like, it feels good to pull those cards. And that's why Hidden Fates was such a special set, because you had primarily Pokemon from Gen 1 to 3, which is what most people resonate with. And, you have those, chances for, full art trainers that are really, really awesome. You have the baby shinies, and then you have, the full art shiny GXs. And it's not like in don't hate on me, man, but I'm not a fan of Champions Path just because, you get like 2 cards out of there that are like big pulls, and then the rest of the set is pretty rough if you're not pulling that. So it's tough to spend money to open, in my opinion. But Hidden Fates is there's just so many other pulls that you can get, that are just awesome, So I totally get that. Shining Fates is a fun set as well, and definitely one of those sets that people enjoy opening. I know that I did.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with the Champion Path. What's in Champion's Path for sure. Even like pulling up the card list right now, it's like there's not a lot of valuable cards, but it's like if a set has a Charizard, I'm gonna do my hardest to freaking pull it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
it's
that
stuff.
Yeah, I'm that stubborn, but like, even like pulling up the, Evolving Skies, like what we said, like what I said, like what you said, there's so many fan favorite Pokemon in this set. We have the evolutions, we have Leaf. If I remember correctly, I could have sworn I saw Mew in this. I think Mew's in the set.
I think I don't know. I thought that he was in the next one, but he might be in this one.
Oh no. Yeah. You're definitely right. I think I got it mixed up with a Suicune V, which is like.
Mm-hmm.
I love how the modern sets are starting to give Suicune some love here.
Yeah, it's a cool card. I mean, you get all of the evolutions, and then you throw in Rayquaza in the mix, and it's like all of those different alternate arts are beautiful for each one of those Pokemon, and then you get the VMAXs for like, Sylveon, Leafeon, and Umbreon, and then you have that, alternate art VMAX, the Rayquaza, like it's insane. Like that's a solid set, and there's just so many alternate arts that are fun to chase. There's rainbow rares that are really fun, again, Umbreon and Rayquaza, so you pull those and it feels like a big hit, but then there's even more bigger hits on top of that to chase. There's gold cards that are really fun. I mean, just all in all, like it really is a special set, and I think that one that Pokemon needed, and people were wanting,
Yeah. I pulled up this Secret Rare Umbreon VMAX to where he's like on top of this castle structure, and like there's a full moon, and yeah, it's a beautiful card.
It really is.
Yeah, which is the one I'm referring to is actually this one.
Hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I've definitely been enjoying my time being in this hobby again. Being like, it's kind of funny how things went full circle for me, because I started with the TCG and I got back into Pokemon full time because of the TCG. So it's like it's definitely like deja vu for me and all that, and I hope that finally, like, I'm going to be able to continue doing this, and meeting new friends, and strengthening these bonds, these new bonds I have with, like, especially with you as well. You were actually my first friend that I met when it comes to getting back into this hobby.
Yep.
Oh, right on, man. That's super cool.
So yeah, I mean, is there anything else we can talk about?
I don't.
Go ahead, Sam.
I mean, I don't know if is there anything else we can talk about.
Nothing I can come up with.
Hey, that's totally fine. I really appreciate you guys having me on. I'm always down to to nerd out and talk Pokemon with other fellow collectors and good friends. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys having me on. It was super fun.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah. It was definitely fun. We definitely have to do this again in the future. Actually, funny enough, my first idea for a collaboration is if, like, we could do some sort of pack battle.
Yeah, I'm always open to that too.
Pack battle
Anytime
would be
I get to
fun.
open up packs is fun. So, if you ever want to open up, some Dream League or EV Heroes or something like that, like, let me know and we'll make it work, man.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much for coming, man. It was fun, and if you all want, would you like to tell everyone what you do on your channel?
Yeah, sure. I kind of spend a lot of time in eBay, and I do a lot of research in regards to the economic side of Pokemon, which I really enjoy. I like looking at numbers. I'm a very data-driven person. It really helps me, my day-to-day and in my job as well. And so it was kind of natural for me to start to lean towards that side of Pokemon. And like I said, I don't make a ton of money, so I need to buy and sell and make smart moves in order to enjoy this hobby and further my collection goals without spending all my money. And so I'm in eBay a lot, looking at, prices and deals. And so I run a segment on Instagram, call it, deal of the day, where anytime I come across a good deal from, a reputable seller or, I kind of give you guys some type of reasons why I think it's a deal. I'm not just, spouting out stuff and promoting people or nothing is paid, nothing along those lines. It's just I don't make all the money in the world and I can't buy all this stuff, so I might as well share it with other people. And it's been really cool that a lot of people have, messaged me saying, hey, I ended up getting this. Thanks so much. I was looking for this for my personal collection, or I was able to buy this and I really enjoy it. Thanks for the heads up. And so just trying to spread a little bit of positivity. So I do that on Instagram. I used to do it on YouTube, but I found that every time I would do a video and I would release it the next day because, I stayed up all night, making the video, editing the video, and then I would release it early in the morning. A lot of the stuff, because they were hot deals, were like gone or like, so it was really tough for me. So I wanted to go ahead and put that over to Instagram so that I can, as soon as I see a deal, I can post it and people can go and get it if they want. And it's just been a little bit more, I feel like it's been a better fit that way. But primarily, I just do a weekly Pokemon market recap where I kind of talk about cards that are going up, going down, specific sets, sealed product, slabs, all different types of grades. And it's kind of just, I like to think of it as like, Sports Center for Pokemon. Kind of just hang out, watch some highlights, get some stats, and kind of an easy way to, ingest, 10 to 15 minutes of content so that, people can stay up to date of what's going on in the hobby. And so it's been successful and, it's starting to gain a little bit of traction and it's been really fun and, it's content that I really enjoy making.
Nice. One last thing. If you could give any advice to anyone, what type of advice would you give someone if they've just gotten into the hobby for the first time?
Be patient and do your research. It's probably the biggest lesson that I can share with anybody. And do not listen to what people are telling you. do the research on your own. It's great to get exposure. There's a lot of different channels out there like SM Pratt, Pokenomics, TCA Gaming. There's a lot of really, really good channels that have amazing content with, Gem Mint Pokemon. These guys that have years and years of experience in the hobby, and they're just telling it to you straight. They're not trying to hype up anything. They're not trying to get you to go and buy something. There's no ulterior motive. But then there's other people in the hobby, and I'm not going to name any names, that I see are growing, and they're hyping up specific things in order to get those people that are watching or viewing to like buy their product, or they're just hyping specific things or sets and not really knowing what they're talking about. And so I just really encourage people to be cautious of what you watch, and anytime you hear somebody say something, go and do the research yourself. There's so many tools available to look up data points. And you have PokemonPrice.com, you have PWCC's marketplace where you can look at their archives to see every single sold listing for a specific card. It goes back years ago. You have eBay that's gotten much limited in regards to seeing sold prices. So it's still a great tool to use though, and one I use every day. But there's just so much data now, and like I said, Pokemon is so optimized that all it takes is you taking the time to go and research. So I made the mistake of listening to a content creator one time, and I made a purchase, and it ended up biting me in the butt because it wasn't true. So I would just recommend people to be patient, into hype, and to do the research on your own as well, and ask questions. Reach out to new people, reach out to trusted members in the hobby, and start conversations and start building relationships, because I bounce ideas off of people all the time in regards to what I want to buy, what I want to sell, to get their feedback, because my experience is limited and I don't know everything. And so it's always good to get other trusted members that have experience, like, hey, do you think it's a good time to sell this right now? Hey, do you think it's a good time to buy this? And just to get their feedback, because they might be seeing something or hearing something that I don't know. So I encourage people to reach out, have fun, enjoy it, collect what you love, and be patient.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely
really
agree with
good
that.
advice. Yeah.
Yeah. Being patient is definitely the one thing I've had to learn being part of this hobby, because I would just get so impatient, especially when I saw when I'll say this quick. When I was still working on Darkness Ablaze, and then I saw that Champion's Path was coming out. I was so impatient. I'm like, okay, I gotta pull this Charizard VMAX. Come on, there's another set coming out. And then it was almost like karma was like, no, we're gonna make you wait.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, patience is key. Really for anything, for sure. But yeah, I think that's it. We definitely went. This has definitely been over an hour.
It has been over an
Time
hour.
flies, man, when you're having fun.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, if you all want to check out what our buddy Rob here does, definitely go check out his channel. His link will be in the description.
Yep.
And we'll also put his Instagram there, because he does post that deals of the day stuff, and he does post a lot of cool other things besides that, if he wants to show off a card, which there's been times you've posted some Charizard cards, and I would just mess with you in the comments about it.
It's always welcome,
But yeah, with that said, if you all haven't just interview, then you all know what to do. Subscribe, like this video, and we'll be seeing you in the next one. Later, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.